mexicano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país.
Este es el referente de la noche.
Palitos y Bolitas es la catedral de la explicación. Este programa es la única parada que necesitas para entender los porqués y cómo de todo lo que pasa en México y el mundo. Lunes a viernes, 7 p.m. por Heraldo Televisión.
En esta era digital, las tarjetas de presentación de negocio son cosa del pasado. De hecho, la mayoría de las personas que las reciben las pierden en cuestión de minutos. La videotarjeta de negocios de NowMedia es un video de su negocio especialmente creado por nuestros expertos con toda su información de contacto, los productos y servicios de su negocio, y puede ser enviado de manera rápida utilizando su teléfono móvil. Cientos de negocios ya están viendo la diferencia. Llámenos hoy al 832.
Broadcasting live from Houston. From the space city to the world, you are watching NowMedia Television.
Good afternoon and welcome to the NowMedia Television, the first fully bilingual television in the United States, and to Legal Talk with Natalia and Mac. My name is Natalia. I am an advocate, which is an attorney, a mediator and arbitrator from Warsaw, Poland, currently here in the lovely hot Houston. And I'm starting the show with the interview with Fran Brockstein, who has been our guest before, but she's just like a fountain of topics and ideas to people in their everyday lives, and it's always a pleasure to have her. Fran, thank you so much for coming.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's always a pleasure to see you. And now, tell us, once again, please remind our viewers what your role currently is, what you are doing, and why I'm so insisting on having you always.
Well, I now live in Marble Falls, Texas, and I am an attorney mediator, and this year I'm the president of the Texas Association of Mediators.
And this is fantastic. I know that you have been qualified as a lawyer, you do family law, as an attorney, you did. Now you focused more into mediation, am I right?
Yes, and I enjoy it thoroughly.
And the topic we picked for today is quite something that I think everybody should know, and it's actually nice to look at us and to discuss. We wanted everybody to know and to get to know more how to dress for the court. Imagine you are having a trial. You imagine you are going to see the judge. The question is, how should you dress? What's the appropriate dress code for the court? Fran?
Well, I usually tell people to dress like they're going to church. They need to recognize that judges tend to be older and conservative, and so less is more. You don't, if you're saying you have no money, you should not show up in court with a designer handbag and wearing lots of jewelry. And it's important that you dress respectful and conservatively. You should not wear a sundress. You shouldn't wear shorts. You should not expose your tummy. And in the past, I have actually worked with clients to make them look as good as possible. I had a gentleman, was a very large gentleman, like an ex-football player, and I made him get his hair cut. I made him wear a white shirt to soften his facial expression, wear a tie, and wear a suit. And his mother-in-law was so mad, she was spitting mad at me, and came up to me and said, "How dare you clean him up?"
That's a fantastic story, and thank you for that. And you actually touched on something very important. In the family law, we deal a lot with people having child support issues. And in my country, a lot of people think that when they have a child support case, they need to dress like they're the poorest in the world, like they have no clothes, like their clothes were only folded and wrinkled and dirty. Is that a good image for the court?
No, you want to be respectful. And usually, like I said, I try to encourage people to consider how they would dress if they were going to church or somewhere else. But recognize that judges are human and everyone is a little bit different, but many judges are older and they tend to have been practicing law a long time. They've seen a lot. So I've actually encouraged people to go to the courthouse ahead of time and look around and see how the other people are dressing. You don't want to dress too much. I've actually seen women come to court when the attorney told them to look nice in cocktail dresses, and I don't think that's appropriate either.
So you actually can't do it to extreme one end or the other end. Right. So it's not actually like an evening dress style, but it's not beach style either. Have you seen consequences of people coming really badly dressed to the court? Yes.
One day in Harris County, Texas, it was Contempt Day, and a gentleman wore a T-shirt that said "Bad to the Bone." That would not have been the outfit I would have checked that day.
Wow, so actually also the huge prints that we are wearing on our outfits can reflect on us, and we should be very, very careful about it. And what about the actual haircuts, nails for women? This is a big deal. And what would you recommend here?
Well, again, if you're claiming you have no money, you should not be showing up with your hair perfectly coiffured or your nails, extra long nails, especially in front of a female judge, because a female judge will know what you spent on your hair and your nails.
Wow, this is a good tip, actually, and this is something I'm always also telling you. You said to dress to the church. What I am telling my clients usually is that when you go to the court, you need to be dressed like you are solving a very important official matter for yourself. And study shows that men who are wearing actually ties or at least shirts are being seen as more reliable, more trustworthy, more like noble. As opposite to people who dress in shabby clothes. And that goes the same way to men and to women. Tell us, therefore, something about the behavior. So now we are dressed to the court. What about the behavior? What should we be actually showing, presenting, emanating to the court when we are going there?
Well, it is important that you speak up. Again, some judges are a little deaf. You don't want to yell at them, but you also want to look the judge or the jury in the eye. When people look down and they're talking to the floor and they're mumbling, that is not good. And so looking the judge in the eye is always a good idea.
This is one of the things. And how about gesture? What about us presenting ourselves and expressing ourselves with huge moves?
Well, come on. A lot of us talk with our hands, but you don't want to be cussing. You don't want to be interrupting. You need to be respectful. The judge can only, and the court reporter can only hear one person at a time. So it is important that you have a pen and paper to write notes so you remember things, but you should not be interrupting, especially when the judge is talking. Do not interrupt a judge. On occasion, I've been known to kick a client under the table when the judge is ruling, especially if it's in my favor, and I don't want my client to interrupt the judge and have the judge lose his or her train of thought.
And tell me, therefore, is it allowed in the court to make comments? Like, for example, the judge says something or the other party says something, and you feel this need to express yourself and vent off by commenting on what has been just said.
Mumbling under your breath, sighing, rolling your eyes, and especially cussing is frowned upon. And I will say that if you cuss the judge out after a ruling, you can be held in contempt of court, and the bailiff will take you, at least in Texas, they have a gun and they have handcuffs, and you get to go to the Harris County Jail for a little bit to cool off.
And by the way, have you seen examples of that?
Yes, ma'am. I've seen it many times. So again, all of us, many people are very passionate. For example, if you tie my hands down, I cannot talk. So I do talk with my hands, but you should always recognize that the judge is observing everything about you, and the staff is also observing you from the moment you enter. And I always tell people to be very respectful to the bailiff and to all the court employees, because if you're nasty to them, the judge will hear about it back in his or her chambers.
So honestly, I think that that has been a concise and nice way of presenting the things to our viewers. What about going to the court and presenting things? Fran, you are a mediator mainly nowadays, and we also did some materials for YouTube, and we were proud because quite a lot of people got with good comments to you that it's been actually quite useful at the LMI podcast. I wanted to ask you, what's the best way to get hold of you, Fran?
Well, my office phone number is 713-847-6000. My website is FamilyLaw4U.com, which is family law, the number 4, the letter U.com. And if you're in Texas, I do offer a free 10-minute phone consultation. If you're not in Texas, I'm not licensed outside Texas, so I cannot give you any legal advice outside Texas.
And for that, I thank you so much. And we will see our viewers after the break to get some more information. This time we will be talking about the meaning of the power of attorney in the real life and in your relationship with your attorney. See you after the break.
Oye, Lily dice que AT&T le da a todos las mejores ofertas.
Minus the air quotes.
Las mejores ofertas.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Te lo dije, aquí las mejores ofertas son para todos con una variedad de planes.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
En AT&T les damos a todos nuestras mejores ofertas en cada smartphone.
Hello, my name is Charles Sanders, and I'm a personal injury attorney with the Rose Sanders Law Firm, based in Texas and with offices in Houston, Dallas, McAllen, and El Paso. We assist individuals throughout the entire state who have suffered harm due to the negligence of another person. With my experience as an insurance adjuster, I understand and I know exactly how to counter the strategies employed by insurance companies, and I'm bringing this knowledge to you. We handle a wide variety of situations, ranging from car accidents to defamation and unsafe property conditions. We are here to provide support and legal representation at no cost to you. Call us today at 713-221-3773.
You probably already know that first impressions are never forgotten. However, did you also know the way you feel about yourself contributes to your quality of life and the opinions of others? Hi, my name is Kristen Gunderson. My mission is to help people by flipping the switch inside their body, which in turn will help them to feel better and do more. In fact, once you feel your best, you will be able to pour into others, keep your cup full, and reach every goal you have set up for yourself, whether it's personal, family, or business related. The way you feel will dictate the way you think and the way you live your life. Feeling your best is necessary to achieve your goals. You deserve to put yourself first. Let me help you flip the switch so you can feel better and do more. Let's talk. I know I can help.
best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching NowMedia Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
República H, con Sofía García.
Una república que necesita saber cuál es el camino correcto.
En República H te diremos qué pasa en cada rincón del país. ¿Qué pasa en tu estado? ¿Qué hace tu gobernador, presidente municipal o alcalde en materia de seguridad, salud, desarrollo, economía o servicios básicos para atender a su población? Tenemos desplegados más de 70 corresponsales en todo el país y más allá de las fronteras.
República H, de lunes a viernes a las 8 de la noche por Heraldo Televisión.
Palitos y Bolitas es la catedral de la explicación. Este programa es la única parada que necesitas para entender los porqués y cómo de todo lo que pasa en México y el mundo. Lunes a viernes, 7 p.m. por Heraldo Televisión.
Welcome after the break to the Legal Talk with Natalia and Mac. Mac is currently not here, but he will join us. And we are having with us again from Broxton, the mediator. When I say the mediator, that means the person that is so commonly referred to and really whose help is sought in complex mediation cases. And someone who also having a long practice of family law attorney can tell you a lot of interesting things. However, today we are meeting to discuss something that a lot of people probably don't really pay attention to, and this is the power of attorney. Power of attorney meaning like what, right? You say that with one breath and you think power of attorney. Fran, what is the power of attorney?
Well, in Texas, we have more than one kind. We have a financial and we have a medical, completely different. In the state of Texas, we have forms that the Texas legislature has approved. And I encourage people to use them because they're standardized and doctors and lawyers and banks are used to seeing them. And so instead of creating something brand new, use the statutory form. And a power of attorney, for example, if I made you my medical power of attorney, if I could talk for myself, then I would make my own medical decisions. But if I was under anesthetic or I was in a coma, then you would be designated. And I usually encourage people to pick more than one in case you're on vacation, so I have a backup. Now, at any time, if I'm not happy with you, I can revoke it. And a lot of people don't understand that. And then, at the moment I die, you can't do anything anymore. And that's a biggie. A lot of people don't understand that a medical power of attorney dies when the person dies. The same for financial. You can do what I would do. In Texas, we can have a lot of rights are limited. For example, I give my CPA a limited power of attorney sometimes. But he can only do one or two little tiny things for me. And then if you're my power of attorney and I get mad at you, then I can revoke it. And again, if I pass away, then it goes away. And that is why people need to do estate planning, because that's why you would need a will or you might need some other legal documents. But a power of attorney is a very useful document. I will say a financial power of attorney is very, very powerful. So you should pick someone that you absolutely trust 110%.
Thank you for that, Fran. And I would want to summarize it for our viewers. So basically, a power of attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, here in Texas, is a piece of paper but can differ in its meaning and importance. So you can have a financial power of attorney and a medical power of attorney, and these serve totally different purposes. But the main thing is nobody needs to worry, nobody needs to be preoccupied that once you are not here, so when you die, somebody is going to do something with your estate or with your body or whatever. When you are not here, the power of attorney expires. This is basically it, right?
Correct.
So this is a very important tool, but this is a tool that helps you manage your issues here while you're still here. And this is one referring to just the real life. However, us as attorneys, we know something about powers of attorney when it comes to appointing your legal representative. Legal representative for the case or legal representative for mediation. And what is this sort of a power of attorney? How does it differ and what other consequences it brings? When you are appointing with a power of attorney a lawyer for yourself, how does it differ?
Well, there's many different forms of it. So when people say, I have a financial power of attorney, I'm like, I have to read it because you can tweak it and make it unique. And I will add, because I learned this the hard way, when your child goes to college or turns 18, please have them at least do a medical power of attorney because in Texas, they're an adult the day they turn 18. And my own daughter got very ill and was hospitalized when she was 20. And I hadn't done a medical, it never occurred to me she needed a medical power of attorney. And it was seriously, she was in a coma and it was a very serious problem. So please, before your kids go off to college or when they turn 18, you should consider having a basic power of attorney because even though you're the parent, they're an adult in Texas.
Wow. And still, the question remains, we know financial, we know medical, we know the consequences. And what do we do when it comes to a legal representative, someone representing you in the courts? You also give them the power of attorney. And you being the client, when you're, I don't know, not satisfied with the lawyer, or there are other circumstances in life, like for example, you realize you are not able to pay this sort of fees any longer. How do you terminate this power of attorney?
Well, it could be difficult. You're supposed to let the person know that you designated and to tell them to stop acting. And you need to try to find all the people that they contacted, the banks, financial institution, doctors, and let them know that you've revoked it. And I would also encourage you to, well, even though we hate certified mail these days, send it email, text, and certified mail to cover yourself. You have to make it known in the general world that you've revoked it.
And this is a very important issue, but does the court need to be involved in that when the power of attorney is terminated by the client? I understand not, but when the attorney wishes to terminate the power of attorney, how does it work then?
Okay, so you're talking about a lawsuit going on? So, for example, if a client fired me, the only person that could let me off the case was the judge. And if the client signed the paperwork saying, please let this attorney off, it made it easier. But if not, some judges still make you show up in court. But if the client, if you don't want me to be your attorney more, I'd say, please sign the paperwork and I'll get off. But only the judge could let me out of the case.
And this is why I really wanted to have this topic discussed today, because even from the bird's eye view, which we are now covering, it is easily seen that the power of attorney is not a unified term. It can have a lot of meanings, and it can lead to a lot of things happening around, and it can be a source of something that can be an effective help, but can also be a source of trouble. And Fran can probably tell us a few stories because she's now serving on an ethical committee that is chasing lawyers who commit ethical offenses in their profession. And when it comes to the power of attorney given to lawyers, what sort of interesting stories can you tell us?
Well, I am on the board of the Unauthorized Practice of Law in Texas, and unfortunately, there are a lot of naughty people that do terrible, terrible things to Texas residents. And one thing we need to be aware of is that a notary cannot give legal advice.
A notary cannot give legal advice?
I'm a notary, but I just verify that the person signed it, that I knew that that was the person that signed the legal document, but I don't look at the legal document. And in Mexico and South America, a notario is completely different. They're attorneys. And in Texas, A notary is not an attorney.
So actually what you are saying is that nobody can rely on any advice given by someone who is being a notary public. I understand. But please tell us recently, out of the things you have been dealing with, what caught your attention? What were the issues and cases that made you think that being an attorney is a tough job?
Well, and especially in family law, keeping your client happy as they're going through one of the worst periods of their life is tough. And I tell people, I am not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but I do find in family law that listening and being compassionate and having empathy is very important.
Wow. And probably a lot of people imagine that their lawyers are heartless creatures who are there only to represent their interest in a hard way in the court. I assure you that both Fran and me, we represent a different approach. That probably also stems from the fact that we are mediators. So, Fran, have you seen, just in a few words, the attorney whom you appointed to run your legal suit, legal proceedings, can also represent you in mediation? That's entailed in this power of attorney, right?
Absolutely, yes, because they're going to know your case better than anyone else. And so I, as a mediator, want the attorney to be there to give legal advice to the client and to be there also to emotionally support the person.
And when the other way around, can you appoint a lawyer only to represent you in mediation and not to go to the court with you?
Yes, you can do limited scope representation. It has never become that popular, but it is available out there.
And please tell us, you said that in your mediation you prefer for the parties sometimes to be represented because there is like an additional factor that handles the clients and the emotions in place. Tell us, in your practice, how much of the things you are doing is being, that's a tough question and I'm telling you that, is being helped by the attorneys, and how much of these cases are actually going south because of the bad practice the attorneys represent?
There's always a percentage of attorney that doesn't want the case to settle. They want to go to trial because they want to make the money. But I find many attorneys do care about their clients and want the best for their clients and enjoy the flexibility of mediation. And so I would say the bulk of the attorneys are helpful at mediation. But unfortunately, there is a small percentage that sabotage the mediation.
Thank you so much, Fran. Your wisdom is always impressive to me, and your experience even more. And this is the combination of all of that. The wisdom, the experience. Fran Broxton, familylawforyou.com is where you can actually get more information about Fran. And with that, let me invite everybody to a little break.
Oye, Lily dice que AT&T le da a todos las mejores ofertas.
Minus the air quotes.
Las mejores ofertas.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Te lo dije, aquí las mejores ofertas son para todos con una variedad de planes.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
En AT&T les damos a todos nuestras mejores ofertas en cada smartphone.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching NowMedia Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
FBI, un robo ocurre cada 13 segundos. Los hogares y negocios sin un sistema de seguridad confiable tienen 300% más de probabilidades de ser robados. Alert 360 proporciona soluciones de seguridad sólidas y personalizadas a clientes residenciales y comerciales, ya sea seguridad en el hogar, detección de incendios y monóxido de carbono, protección contra inundaciones, atención conectada para personas mayores, soluciones de vigilancia administradas por video, monitoreo de alarma las 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana y seguridad de personas. Alert 360 es su solución ideal. Además, Alert 360 tiene integraciones inteligentes para el hogar y el negocio para una total tranquilidad, protegiendo lo más importante y reduciendo los costos de energía con nuestras funciones de programación automática de primera línea. Alert 360 ofrece descuentos en servicios de seguridad a personal militar, veteranos, primeros respondientes, educadores y personal hospitalario. No seas víctima, da un paso fuerte hoy. Llame a Rosana Torres al 832-863-8574 para su consulta gratuita.
Hello and welcome after the break and a total change of climates. In the previous segment, I have been with Fran in the hot Houston, and today I am in Warsaw, Poland, in Europe. And it's quite cold, I need to say. It's like half of the temperature there is in Houston, and we are having quite a night here now. It's 9 p.m. when we start recording, but this is what you do when you try to combine the worlds and you try to be an international family lawyer. It is my greatest pleasure to invite for the second half of this program my friend, my dear colleague, Monika Perkowska, a child psychologist whom we hosted already in the show. But this time, I really want to invite everybody to something really exciting. Things that we try and see every single day, not thinking what psychological and legal consequences it brings. And this is co-parenting in patchwork family. And it is my pleasure to welcome Monika once again. Monika, tell us again a few words about yourself.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist. I work with children, teenagers, and families according to the original safe relationship psychotherapeutic method. At work, I meet a lot of children and parents with emotional difficulties, and building a safe relationship with them allows them to trust themselves and the world again. And I'm very glad that we are going to talk about an important topic today.
And Monika, sometimes I understand that people not really understand what a patchwork family is. So I am going to introduce this topic by saying that patchwork family is whenever there is a marriage, a relationship, when there is children from different relationships. So sometimes people say, we have children that are mine, yours, and ours. That means that there are children that were born in another relationship to one parent, children that were born from another relationship to the other parent, and there can be also the common children. And that brings a lot of challenges. So, Monika, what are the most important things to consider when it comes to co-parenting in patchwork families?
Oh, I think blended families indeed offer their own set of challenges, and one primary challenge is navigating the emotional complexities that arise from the blending of two separate family units. And children might need to adjust to new siblings, step parents, and living arrangements. This can trigger feelings of insecurity, jealousy, or I think even loyalty conflicts between biological and non-biological family members. And I think it's so important to remember that teamwork is the key here. And when we focus on the kids and create a solid plan together, it is a good work. And for instance, we have to make sure We both agree on rules for example, bedtime or screen time. And this way the children get a clear message no matter whose house they're in.
And can you please tell us also how we can help children adjust to this situation? The situation where children either are staying in the same house, but there are children of different parents, or children that are visiting two different houses where there are different children. Because we adults organize our lives and we think all is going to be fine. We are mature, we are prepared to handle our emotions. But then we put children into situations where we think, oh, there will be just children can play, it's good for them, they will develop better. What does psychology and your experience say to that?
I think it's a great question. And I think changes can be tricky, so we have to be patient. If you want to have a new partner, I think date them for a long time first to make sure you want to introduce them to your children. And I say it in my practice. Children do not like to be shown many partners because they strive for constantly in life. And you know, it's best to meet your children and your new partner in a neutral place, such as walk in the park. And it's so important to talk to them about how they're feeling and let them know it's okay to feel a bit mixed up. And you can say something like, oh, honey, I know it's different now that we are all together. How are you doing with everything? And I think that by sharing their feelings, they'll know they're not alone. And in my opinion, open communication is crucial, and parents should create a safe environment where children can express their feelings without any, judgment.
And in the meantime, when I'm questioning you, we're seeing all those lovely images of the parents and children holding each other and being in perfect harmony. However, what happens when there is no harmony, when children don't want or reject the other partner in the family?
Yes, I think it's a good point. It's normal for kids to feel unsure about new people in their lives, and it's a process, and one way to help is by finding activities everyone enjoys. For example, we love art or sport, so you can suggest a family art or sport project, and this can help them bond and see that new people can be pretty cool too. But it's not so easy, and we need a lot of time to have a good connection, good relationship. As such, like in my office is the same, I think. I'm the new person, like your new partner, and we need to do something new together.
And can you recommend some methods how we, by introducing this new partner, are not really mixing these children's lives? What are the best methods to ensure that we stay in consistency for the benefit of our children?
Oh, I think it's you have to be sure that this partner is, I can say, forever. And when your child sees that, when your children see that you're in good mood, in good psychological, mental health, it's easier. And when you're happy, they are happy too. So it's not easy, but you need to be very sensitive, sensible for your children, and be not so, how to say, good. Some word, I'm looking for some word. You have to be very calming for your child.
And what happens when this doesn't happen? So what is a thing that the parents should avoid when they are trying to create a patchwork family, having a new partner, this partner, children, be a part of the newly founded family.
It's not so easy, and I think we have to avoid talking negatively about the other parent or step parent in front of children, in front of them. For instance, if you're frustrated with a decision your current co-parent made, I think it's better to discuss it privately, and this way kids won't feel caught in the middle. And I think significant misconception is the belief that love will automatically bond all family members instantly. And I think, building relationship takes time, especially in blended families. And unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment. And what word I can say: patient, understanding, giving each relationship the space to grow naturally are, I think, essential. And I have some example. For example, if you both agree on a bedtime routine, it doesn't matter where the kids are, they know what's expected, and this is sound reassuring for children.
So you are saying the basic clear rules will be those safeguards for children in these sorts of relationships. And I can see that on many occasions in my practice. I think that people introduce their new partners into children's life too early. They are unprepared. And another mistake they make is that they don't warn the other parent, their previous partner, that there is someone who is going to appear in the children's life. They think, oh, it's not their business anymore, but it's not the case. The other parent needs to know, because the child comes back home from visiting this new family that dad or mom is having, and they will start asking questions. And when this other parent is unprepared for that, conversation can be detrimental to the child and to the parent. And I have seen many situations like that. So whenever this sort of disaster happens, or any other moment, when do you think and how patchwork families can seek help?
Oh, I think I have seen the same situation too, and it's so harmful for children to have some secrets, or it's secret for us, only for us, or only for daddy. And yes, I think that psychological help or psychotherapeutical or mediation help will be so good for them, for parent. And if you find it hard to agree on things, or notice your child seems really upset, it might be time for extra help now. And let's say your child's grades start dropping, for example, or they're acting out more than usual. They are sad, they are angry. A child therapist can offer strategies to improve communication between parents and make the patchwork family experience smoother for everyone. So it's not easy, but we have a lot of specialists and we can go for help.
Thank you so much, Monica. I want to welcome everybody to a short break, after which we will be talking about parenting in international families. See you soon.
El tema está en los países.
Liderazgo y experiencia.
Nuestro país debe meterse en las grandes discusiones y en los grandes debates.
Son parte de una carrera exitosa.
Se juegan dos estados.
Él es referente en el periodismo.
No definen el 2024.
Javier Solórzano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país.
Este es el referente de la noche.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Hello, my name is Charles Sanders, and I'm a personal injury attorney with the Rose Sanders Law Firm, based in Texas and with offices in Houston, Dallas, McAllen, and El Paso. We assist individuals throughout the entire state who have suffered harm due to the negligence of another person. With my experience as an insurance adjuster, I understand and I know exactly how to counter the strategies employed by insurance companies, and I'm bringing this knowledge to you. We handle a wide variety of situations, ranging from car accidents to defamation and unsafe property conditions. We are here to provide support and legal representation at no cost to you. Call us today at 713-221-3773.
As a home or business owner, it can be tough to find a painting company that you can rely on. Look no further. Hi, I'm Courtney Hughes, owner of 360 Painting West Houston, your go-to painting company for residential and commercial needs. 360 Painting's mission is simple. We want to provide you with the highest quality finish and the best painting experience possible. Our company's residential and commercial painting services are founded on 3 core values. First, quality. We ensure the use of premium paints, high quality finishes, and proven painting methods. Second, professionalism. We are committed to professional and responsive painting services. We coordinate and plan projects around your schedule and will treat your property with the utmost respect. And lastly, customer service. Your satisfaction is our #1 priority. So before laying a single brushstroke, we will make sure that we understand your vision for your home or office, and we'll do all that we can to paint that vision into reality. We strive to complete every project to your specifications, and we ensure professional, accountable, and reliable service from the first brushstroke to the last. So the next time that you need your home or business painted, give us a call for your free estimate at 713-829-1581.
En esta era digital, las tarjetas de presentación de negocio son cosa del pasado. De hecho, la mayoría de las personas que las reciben las pierden en cuestión de minutos. La videotarjeta de negocios de NowMedia es un video de su negocio especialmente creado por nuestros expertos con toda su información de contacto, los productos y servicios de su negocio, y puede ser enviado de manera rápida utilizando su teléfono móvil. Cientos de negocios ya están viendo la diferencia. Llámenos hoy al 832-384-9588.
Welcome after the break. Again with me, Monika Perkowska, child psychologist and child psychotherapist from Poland, from Warsaw, where I am. My colleague with whom I worked, and I can certify she's been doing a terrific work. And I was recently counting, because we recalled the same case we were working on, me as a lawyer and she as a psychologist. It's been 11 years that I've known you, Monica. So actually, congratulations for doing this for so long and for bringing so much good into people's families. And here we are now uniting to talk about something extremely important, especially in this bilingual television. We are going to talk about co-parenting in international families. And Monica, with her international experience, is absolutely a good person to talk to. So, Monica, let us start with what are the main things to consider when it comes to co-parenting in international families?
Oh, it's a huge topic. Co-parenting in international families brings its own set of challenges, and it's super important to keep lines of communication open. For instance, if one parent lives in a different country, regular video calls can help maintain the connection, I think, and this way the child knows both parents are still there for them, but it's not so easy for children, of course.
And what about the cultural differences? Because it's not only the thing that the parents can be separated, one of them can live abroad. What about two cultures are coming together and meeting in the same family? What should people be aware of and think of in those terms?
Oh, I think it's a good question. Changes like this can be tough, but being honest helps. Explain that. I think we should explain that even though parents live apart, they both still love them loads, and you might say something like, "Okay, mom or dad lives far away, but they are always thinking about you," and this reassures children and keeps them feeling loved. And if you are no longer a couple, still speak respectfully of each other. It is very important not to undermine the other parent in the child's eyes. And when it comes to cultures, different cultures, it's common for kids to feel a bit mixed up when dealing with different cultures, and open conversations are the key, I think. We have to share stories about each culture's celebrations, traditions, and everything about this culture. And for example, if one parent is from India, for example, and the other from the UK, you could talk about Diwali and Christmas too. So this way, kids learn to appreciate their background.
And what we do if children really start getting confused about all of that, not having children at the same, not having parents at the same place. So parents living abroad, I think that also happens when parents emigrate and when they are trying to work abroad, and so there is distance. But on top, there might be the case that parents speak different languages, live in different countries. And what if this brings confusion on children?
Oh, of course, it's not a child's emotional life. It's an emotional thinking, emotional life of the parents, and I think it's a child must know that I am from love, my parents' love, and I think, of course, love it's not everything, but it's so important to know that we have some personalities from another culture, and it's okay for us. And our my mom and my dad have a lot of respect for each other, and I think the most important thing that I want to say now, when I see some children from international families, and when they have situation about co-parenting, is that sometimes the problem for families in a culture is acculturation stress, and it's a special psychological way of thinking of this stress in international families. It means that mom or dad change their place of residence, and the whole family has to get used to such a change. And whenever we change our place of residence, we have to relearn everything. So we have to relearn how to do things, what are the customs in other culture. And unfortunately, I noticed that the difficulty with children who have a multicultural background, that sometimes they have to become adults quickly, who will help the parent cope better in a new place. And we should remember that parents are adults and should take care of their children, not the other way around. And this acculturation stress is, I think, in many, many international families.
Thank you for that. And tell me, I think that international families mean not just international parents. That could mean international wider families. So grandparents, international like relatives, like aunts and uncles. And sometimes these families also differ in size. One part of family is bigger, the other part of family is smaller. And we even had my former client Ronan, who combined Poland and Ireland this way. The Polish family was very, very little, just like parents and daughter, and therefore the son. That was like a family environment of 4. And in Ireland, the scope of the family was in the closest relationship with them. So uncles' children was like 60 people. So there was a huge cultural difference, and that was very shocking for a young child. Tell me, what can we do, and how can we maintain a bond when parents live in different countries, when they live far away from each other, especially when there is also extended family? And then in case of a visit, this time with the parent is also shared with other members of the family that also require contacts with the beloved child.
Yes, I think it's a culture shock or something like that. And here in Poland, we have small families, I think. Of course, it's not so simple, but I think that's not so easy. But I think we have to communicate each other, and every contact is a value. And I think it's valuable for children, and we need to take care of this contact. And for me, when I think about this concern, even with distance, you can create special, routines. For example, let's say one parent lives abroad, or uncle or grandma, and you could make some tradition of, for example, or tradition of reading a bedtime story over video call every night, or not every night, but every weekend. And this keeps the emotional connecting strong, no matter how far apart you are. So I think it's now, after I think pandemia, we have strong internet connections, and I think it will be helpful for children.
Monica, thank you so much. Tell our viewers how can they reach you if they want to expand on these topics, if they need your help, either to have a seminar with them on it, or if they want to have a piece of advice from you. What's the best way to reach out and get hold of you?
Oh, you can go to my website, monikaperkowska.com, and write me an email. I'll answer for sure.
Thank you so much, Monica. And this has been everything from us for today. I thank you so much for your attention and for being with us. And it will be my pleasure to invite you for the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us today, for seeing Fran and seeing Monica with me. And we will see you in the next episode. I am saying bye on behalf of NowMedia Television, me, myself, Natalia from Poland, and Monika Perkowska. See you soon.
This has been a NowMedia Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Oye, Lily dice que AT&T le da a todos las mejores ofertas.
Minus the air quotes.
Las mejores ofertas.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Te lo dije, aquí las mejores ofertas son para todos con una variedad de planes.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
En AT&T les damos a todos nuestras mejores ofertas en cada smartphone.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching NowMedia Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
Según el FBI, un robo ocurre cada 13 segundos. Los hogares y negocios sin un sistema de seguridad confiable tienen 300% más de probabilidades de ser robados. Alert 360 proporciona soluciones de seguridad sólidas y personalizadas a clientes residenciales y comerciales, ya sea seguridad en el hogar, detección de incendios y monóxido de carbono, protección contra inundaciones, atención conectada para personas mayores, soluciones de vigilancia administradas por video, monitoreo de alarma las 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana y seguridad de personas. Alert 360 es su solución ideal. Además, Alert 360 tiene integraciones inteligentes para el hogar y el negocio para una total tranquilidad, protegiendo lo más importante y reduciendo los costos de energía con nuestras funciones de programación automática